Hi, I'm Jillian Wagner, and this is my presentation on the NFL players kneeling for the national anthem. These are my guests.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Caitlin.
Matt.
Mandy.
Brielle.
Sunday, September 24th, 2017 will now go down in history. History that streamed live on national television from the many NFL football games that proceeded with many kneelings, locked arms, or absentee members of the league being heard during the national anthem. As most history is made, it comes with much controversy. This day was just the same. Everyone reacted differently, everyone felt differently, everyone read the signs differently. There was controversy flying all over the internet, social media, and live media that proceeded during the games as well. In person, the fans and members of each game all showed their own signs of what they were feeling, some not as clear as others, and many different responses arose from the unclearness that filled the stadiums on that day. President Trump, who has been known for much controversy himself, spewed backlash about his negative feelings of the protests that were held that day. President Trump, as many others, felt very negatively about the time that protests took place during the national anthem. This fact alone brought much more debacle of controversy as to the repercussions of the act during our national anthem. Was it coinciding with the values of our national anthem, or downright disrespectful to the purpose of the anthem holds? With all this taking place in the NFL, the repercussions spilled over into other sports such as NASCAR, the NHL, and the NBA. Many repercussions have resulted from the many different actions that were displayed by many different personnel who are a part of the NFL, resulting in a confusion of what it all meant and where to go from there. To add to the controversy, President Trump, one of the most controversial people, added in his interjections about the proceeding. The problem here is that in the light of the President Trump's disagreement about the protesting, his actions and his words dug a deeper hole. In lieu of his disagreement with the actions that took place, his words caused for much more protesting as a result. Even some of his biggest supporters were contributed to his campaign and sung his praises quite publicly during his running, decided to lock arms with those on the field who felt the positive message of the protests that took place. These same supporters of his also led to questions his intentions and his views as to saying negative words over the protests. President Trump told reporters that his comments had nothing to do with race or anything else. This had to do with the respect for our country and respect for our flag, according to New York Times website journalist Ken Belson. This was the biggest point of controversy of all. Just as President Trump had discussed, many felt that to protest during the national anthem during a period of time where the flag was flying and during a period of time where we were supposed to show gratitude and respect, to kneel was a slap in the face for many. Not only did they feel as though the national anthem specifically was not the proper timing to show protests, but many people felt as though a football game or a sporting event is not the right time to bring up politics. People had shown negativity towards this act simply because they look to sports for entertainment and to escape all the negativity that is going on in our country and globally. Many people felt as though by bringing so much political propaganda into the sport of football, and what is now seeping into other sports, they are losing interest in watching the game they love due to not wanting to be subjected to politics and such controversial acts of protest. Not only is there opposing views as to whether sporting events are the proper place to protest, but there's also opposing views as to the effects of protests during the national anthem. Many felt that kneeling during the national anthem was most definitely not the right time to be protesting. Many people of America felt as though that is the highest disrespect to all those who have fought for our country and for all of those whom the national anthem shows gratitude and respect towards. While on the other hand, many people felt as though the protesting during the national anthem was the way to be most symbolic. They felt as though protesting during the national anthem coincides with the message of the national anthem, as when it was an American homage to the First Amendment. And so, the gesture was seen as the most American way to protest, to show the land of the free and of the glory that comes with this great nation. Due to the controversial effects of the protests taking place during the national anthem, other sports have also found that they are being looked at as to how they react when sung the national anthem. In some sports, there was zero tolerance policy for protesting. The NASCAR team owners told their teams that they would not tolerate any protesting during the national anthem. In other news, due to winning the state championship, President Trump invited the Golden State Warriors to the White House to celebrate their victory. However, in response to their invite, Golden State Warriors star player Steph Curry had publicly said that he was not sure if he would be attending. And so, President Trump tweeted, "Going to the White House is considered a great honor of championship team. Steph Curry is hesitating, therefore invitation is withdrawn." The NHL did not follow suit. The Pittsburgh Penguins did accept their invitation to the White House. So there has not been signs of protest throughout other sports directly. However, through these minuscule acts, due to showing how the NFL is affecting other sports and the way some of their appearances are established. Whether you are a player, a team owner, a fan, whether you kneel, stand, boo, or are absent, everyone is being heard. Each and every reaction is showing emotion and giving a voice. Everyone has their own opinion or emotional attachment to what each of these actions mean. But the biggest lesson to take away at the end of the day that Sunday was that there is a united front for change, that each of the members of the NFL all made a decision to show their way of being heard, whether way they felt needed. Those who wanted to be heard, whether protesting, unifying, booing, all were heard. Although the history was made on September 24, 2017, it is still being decided upon what the impact of each gesture was. A united front was shown that day by many teams, a united front for change. Thank you. This is my audience.